Yo, what's up everybody, it's your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different, back with another video. Today we're gonna look at a brand new MIDI keyboard from the guys at Novation called the SL MkIII. Jesus, a mouthful. I need to shorten that name, but I'm gonna show you guys this keyboard and show you why I think this might be the best MIDI keyboard of 2018. Too bad it came out near the end of the year, not beginning. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and run that nice little sexy B-roll real quick. Okay, now y'all saw that 60 B-roll. Let's get right to this. Now, before we get to it, I do want to give a big shout out to the guys at Novation. They actually sent me this keyboard to review. I don't get to keep it, unfortunately, but once I get done my review, I gotta send it back. Had fun with it, had it for about a month now, and I enjoy it, but I am gonna be picking one up next year. So I want to show you guys why I think this is the best MIDI keyboard out there for any use and whatsoever. So let's go ahead and switch camera angles and we can get right into the video, and let's go over this keyboard and show you why you guys might want to look into this one. Let's go. All right, so here we are right now looking into the keyboard. As you can see, this is the 49 SL MkIII. This is a weird angle, I do know, but I will do some close-up shots when I go into detail and all that, so you get to see some sexy B-roll that way. As you can see, it looks like a very confusing MIDI keyboard, because I mean, it has buttons, knobs, it has faders, it has switches, it has everything you need in it plus more. You're like, oh man, this is crazy, but it's actually pretty simple how it lays out and how it works. So before I get into it, like I said, I'm not gonna be doing a in-depth review of this because this is a hybrid MIDI keyboard, meaning it works just as good as a DAW, but it also works really good with analog hardware. Now, since I don't have no analog hardware, I can't really show you that, but I will link you to a video by the guy Bo Beats. He did a very good in-depth review of this with hardware, and you can see that as well. So I'll link that in the description below, but I will touch over it a little bit so you guys do have an idea. But I want to show you all the features of what it can do and who it's for, like I said. So yeah, now as you can see when you're looking at it right now, it's a nice keyboard. It has 49 keys. As you can see, it does have a 61 version or 62, something like that, a 61 key version, so you do have a bigger one as well. As you can see, it looks really good. The key bed feels really good. I do have a piano V in the background, so you can hear piano V going on, so you hear some sounds going with it. So that is dope right there. It's a very good keyboard. I really like it. It has your pitch and mod wheels. It comes with 8 encoders up here, which can control different parameters depending on what the 5 LED screens are right here, OLED LED screens, which are very good, very sharp, very crystal clear, and they show you all the information depending on what part of the keyboard or what function you have the keyboard doing. So I do love that addition. You know, they're not touchscreen, but I still like them. You got 8 faders right here, so you got short throw faders. You have 8 of them, they're programmable. Then you have this 16 drum pads right here. It's actually from, I think, like I said, like their Launchpad series. So, you know, if you're a push or Launchpad user, you'll be right at home. It has your up and down, so you can go up and down the grid. And then it has the latch keys right here for if you're inside of Ableton, which just does really good in Ableton, but it also works really great in other DAWs as well. I've been having a ball with an FL Studio and Studio One, and you know, it works good. So I don't have to switch to Ableton to get this keyboard. If I want to get it, I can just get it. So that's a good selling point for this overall keyboard. I do like that. Then you got switches up here that, you know, change different parameters depending on what you're doing. Right now it's set to analog sense up here, so when you have certain analog sense plugged up, you have different parameters and functions right there. You can see by the colors changing, which is dope. Then it has more switches up here, which are more like your step sequencers type stuff, and you got up and down arrows, of course, up here as well. So as you see, it's changing color. You can mute solo and stuff like that, like if you're doing like inside of the Ableton. So it's very comprehensive and very crazy. You got transfer controls way over here. I'll make a zoom up over there, zoom in so you can guys see that with some B-roll. And then you have all your functions over here, which we'll go through each individual one in just a second. On the back, this thing is crazy. Like, so it has MIDI in, out, and through, so your typical stuff. You do have to plug this up. Like, this does take power because, like I said, this is a hybrid keyboard. Like I said, you can use this, you know, with analog gear as well as your DAW, so it's not bus powered. So do keep that in mind. Hope you got enough plugs for that. You have your sustain pedal, which I have one plugged up right now. I got it on the floor. And then you have a CV gate as well. You have 2 of them. So if you're doing any modular gear, like if you're in the Euro rack and stuff like that, you can hook it straight up to there and CV gate it, and then you have a clock out as well, so because it has a clocking function in as well, so you can sync all your hardware together with the clock and just go crazy. So for live performances and the people with hardware or any type of analog gear, this keyboard is great. You can have this in front of you, have all your gear sitting to the side on a wall, on a rack or whatever, and be controlling all of it through your MIDI keyboard that's right in front of you. So I do like that function. That's what makes this a very dangerous MIDI keyboard. So yeah, I mean, it's dope, and you can do a lot with it. Let's go into some of the features that, you know, apply to me far as a producer who uses mostly in the box, but who wants to get into analog gear and stuff like that. What does this have off? So you do got your pitch and mod wheel, which I will say I do love the pitch and mod wheel. They're very smooth, very nice, and they work really good, and they just feel good. The rubber is really good on them, so, you know, the pause. So yeah, I do like that, and they're just really good, and they really feel good when you're moving them around. Like I say, the faders up here, you have 8 faders, and these are programmable, so you can link them to, you know, FL Studio stuff or Studio One stuff, and they're very good. They have no wiggle to them, and they're very smooth. They're endless encoders, so they go all the way, completely all the way around. So you got 8 of them. Dope programmable stuff. So you want to do some, you know, be switching up and doing your little thing, your want to be DJs and all that, then you can definitely do that. The faders, not my favorite faders. They do have a little wiggle to them. Like I said, the short throw faders. You're not gonna be doing any, you know, any mixing with these probably. I mean, you probably can, but I mean, you're probably not really going to. But if you want to, they are there. Controlling parameters, stuff like that. So it's dope to have them. And like I said, you got 8 of them, so you can have, you know, 16 programmable switches. So you can just be controlling your whole VST inside of your DAW like it's an analog piece of gear, which is very dope, and I do like to give you that functions. You got your transport controls, your standard scrubbing, stop, play, loop, and sync. In Ableton Live, this works perfectly. The transport controls, I have noticed in other DAWs that you have the loop doesn't really work too well. But I think if you just use standard, I think it's the Huey protocol. It's either the Midi or the Huey protocol. I can't remember. I gotta look it up. But it's basically that's the protocol that it uses to link it up. And like I said, it's the same as linking up with my other keyboard, my Arpeggiator keyboard. So I can vouch it does work. I've used it. Stop, start, and play all works. You just got to use the right protocol for it, and it's flawless. But if you're in Ableton Live, it just links up and it goes and it works fine. So now we talk about these pads right here. Now, if you're a fan of the Launchpad or like I said, the Push, then these pads are perfect. These are 16 pads. So you got, you know, the top, you got 8 row, you got 8 right here. So basically like they just took a little bit of a Launchpad, chopped it off through right here. So if you're used to a Launchpad, you got a Launchpad built into this right here, which is dope. And I said you got the switches that train different parameters. You can program them. You have an option button, and it allows you to change the options and patterns. And you can just go really in depth with it and do a lot of stuff with it. It's very comprehensive. You got the grid mode, so now, you know, now I can play my keys with it. I can go up, you know, stuff like that. But then you got your drum pads where if you want to launch stuff. So they're very good. They feel really good. If you have a Push and you have a Launchpad, then you know what they feel like. They're very good. I would say these are really good, and they are RGB. So, you know, you got your little light show going on. So they're dope. And I mean, there's nothing really bad to say about it. So nothing wrong with that. And like I say, this is in sequence mode, and it has different modes, which we will go through all the modes in just a second. But right now it's in sequence mode. So let's go over here and look at what it has over here, because the function, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. You probably can, but I'll zoom in so you can see all of it. You have a shift function, which when you hold shift, you can access the other functions, which is good. You have a global function, which just changes stuff up in here, gives you some, you know, your MIDI clock, and now you can turn your clock on, your velocity, normal, all that. You have this I is in control, which isn't it? Oh, just shut everything up. Is an intelligent controller, something like that. I haven't really messed with that. Hardware up to this, so you do have a tempo sync in there. Go back to shift, go back to global. You have a save function, duplicate, clear. You have the steps, so you can play the steps. You have pattern mode, so now you can do patterns. And as you see, I'm going through now. If you got, like say, if you got like Ableton Launchpad style right there, so you can do your patterns right there, which is dope. You have your sessions, so you know you got different templates and knit stuff, and you can, you know, make custom presets and sessions right there, which is dope. You have your track side, left and right. You have your transport up and down, so you have transport controls right there, transpose, which is very dope. And I do like that. And like I said, you have this screen up here that allows you to do different things depending on the screen. And like I said, it has one thing that I will say, that if you have hardware, there are preset controls for different hardwares. So right now it automatically selects the TRAS, the Octatrack, the Peak, the Sub 30, the Oberheim, the Big Sky, and these are presets to it. So when you click on one of them, now you can control different parameters like reverb, delay, the Octatrack, you control effects parameters, lo-fi, depth, stuff like that. And they have it built in there. You got other stuff in there as well, like pitch, start. So if you have hardware, they have presets in here for certain hardwares, but you can program your own, and you can also, you know, mix and match them and change them up to do different things depending on what you're doing, which I think is really dope. So if you are one of the people who, you know, want to, you know, mess around with that, there you go right there. If you're a hardware nut, like I said, you'll be right at home with this keyboard. It's amazing for that. But like I said, I'll link the video below for Bo Beats. He go in depth with that and show you actually how it all works. Now let's get to the function that I love about this keyboard that makes it a very compelling keyboard for me. The first up is the scale mode. So in order to access scale mode, you want to hold shift and then you want to hit scale. And now it's in scale mode. So it's your basic scale mode. You will hit scale again to select it. Now switch to scale mode. I can select my root note. So I can go like an F scale. And then I can choose something like Fijian maybe. So let's choose like, you see the lights are changing depending on what I'm doing. I can go to Fijian. Let's see, let's go there. And now I'm in key lock or scale lock. Oop. You know. Let's go to C sharp. Maybe that sounds better. Yeet. And like I said, that's a good feature to have because it helps you kind of get some song ideas down. And like I said, if you have hardware, now you got scale out to your hardware. So now you can play your hardware without having to finick around it and all that. And, you know, get some nice scales. And like I said, for live performances, it's dope as well. They do have different functions. They have snap mode, which just snaps to the nearest key, depending on what it is. You have filter, which it basically filters out the bad notes. So anytime you hit, so if you hit bad notes, it just don't even play the bad notes. And then they have display only, where now it just displays it, so you can still play in between it and get a little jazzy with it, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. But I like to keep it on snap. Like I said, if you're a fan of anything like, you know, scalar or something like that, you'll love that feature right there. I think that's a dope feature to have, and it's just great that you can have it in a finger to just press it, boom, and now you're playing it. You ain't got to set up anything or route nothing. It's just right there. When you record it, it copies the actual notes you're playing into your DAW. So that's dope right there. Great function to have. Then you have art mode. So we'll just switch over to art mode. So you hold shift and art. Now it's in art mode. So now you have and also have art mode mixed with scale mode too. So now it's, you know, I'm playing, you know, right there. You have different selections, so you can do like how many parts you want to do. You can do up, down, down, you know, random, played, chords. You know, so that's dope right there. And then you got how much gating you want, so 100% gating, or and then you got your sync rate. And you got the octaves. And you got the length of the steps as well, if you're doing sequencer stuff. So that's dope that you have a built-in ARP right there ready to go. I love that function because like I said, if you got some dope synthesizers and you want to make an arpeggiator out of them, you just turn to ARP mode, pick your scale, and then you can play some crazy ARPs right there. And it's just a amazing function to have right at your fingertips without having to go anywhere else. And if you want to turn any of the modes off, you just hit shift and then turn them off. And now back to your regular modes. Easy as that. So yeah, it's just a very powerful, comprehensive piece of gear. Like, this is an amazing piece of hardware. Like, this MIDI keyboard is just so much more than a keyboard. It just goes beyond and beyond what you can actually do with it, and I love it. And the fact that it's a hybrid keyboard, meaning it works good inside the box as well as outside the box, and it's a dream for anybody. Now, it is priced a little high. It comes in at $499, if I'm not mistaken, so $499. So it's pretty comparable to like something like the Push, but it's basically a Push with a keyboard and some knobs and CV in and out. So I mean, it's really dope. I really like it, and I think it's a dream to have. I love it. I love this thing. It's amazing. I'm buying one. Like I said, once I send this one back, I'm ordering me one from Novation so I can get my hands on one, because I have to have this now. I can't live without it. And it's just great. It's a little on the heavy side, but you know, if you can get around it not being bus powered, then you have no problem right there. And also, you know, it's just really dope. I really like it. And it has a cool sequence when you cut it on. It just goes between the colors, which I'll probably show you in B-roll. So what are my final verdicts about this keyboard? What do I say? This is honestly, if you're looking for a really advanced intuitive keyboard that can really go above and beyond, then I would highly recommend it. If you have analog gear and you want to integrate your analog gear, you don't want to have to keep going to different analog gear, but you want to have, you know, all of them at your fingertips with just one keyboard, this is where it is. I mean, modular gear, analog synth, stuff like that, sequencers, all that. This is where it's at. It's a dope keyboard. It'll fit well anybody. Now, if you're just somebody who's want a MIDI keyboard and don't really care about all the extra functions, then this is probably not for you, because like I said, it is priced a little bit high. But if you want more out of your MIDI keyboard and you want to kind of, I want to say, upgrade into analog gear, stuff like that, definitely look into this, because it will be a great piece of gear. And like I said, it's just a great keyboard to have as well. I love it. So yeah, that's my review of it. Yeah, it's dope. Like I said, it wasn't an in-depth review, but it was a review showcasing this. I want to say shout out to the guys at Novation once again. I wish y'all let me keep this, but unfortunately I can't. I got to send this back really soon. So yeah, but I would pick me up one. And once I get me some hardware, some analog gear, I will show videos of me integrating it with this as well, because I am picking up some hardware since in the future, probably starting next month. I got a few on my radar right now. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy. Like always, this is another video, and yeah, that is the 49 SL MkIII from Novation, a dope MIDI keyboard, probably the best MIDI keyboard of 2018 going into 2019. It's gonna be hard to beat this one. Let's see what's gonna happen in the future. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoy. Always, y'all know who it is, your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different, not motivated by the money, but the like, comment, subscribe, and views. Hope you guys enjoy. Like always, links in the description below. You can pick this up, and also a video of the bow beats that go more in detail about this. Check it out. And with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, everybody.